Hello everybody, Timothy Bailey with Project Learn and our video for today. Today is Friday, it's the weekend, and we are going to look at our Friday Funnies. This is number 3. The question as always, are you ready to laugh here like the Minions? Let's go ahead and get started. So the first few I have actually have no or very little language. But they involve language in you're actually getting towards the funny part. So here we have two pictures. Okay, we have this animal on the right and this drink, or this animal on the left and this drink on the right. So the question is, what are they? That's what you're going to have to figure out for part of the humor, right, in them. Right. So what is this animal? This animal is a koala, right? And this language humor is just based on the word. This is a kind of a language thing where we create a word based on two other things that are not really related, the name or the sound of the name. So first we have koala. And what is the drink here? Excuse me. This is tea. So then what word are we going to have? Well, to do this, you want to start saying them together faster. So koala tea, quality, 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 quality. What word do you hear? Hopefully you hear a word that means something is good, or talking about how good or bad something is. And that word, quality, just like this. So koala, tea, and we end up with this word. Okay, let's try another one. So here again we have 4 pictures. So there's a man at a bar, right, and he has a beer here. And there's a jar here that says tip jar, and the man looks at it. Then he just looks away. Then he looks at it. And then he looks away, but something has happened. What did the man do? Right? So you can guess that the humor is somehow related to this jar. Not anything else here in the picture, because nothing else really changes. Okay, so this is the focal point. What happens between the man and this thing here? Well, from many countries, you don't have this idea of a tip. So if you've been in the United States for a little bit and you go to restaurants, you might be familiar with it. A tip, right, is money given for service. Okay? So at a restaurant or a coffee shop or something, when someone brings you your food or takes care of you in some way, you give them a tip, some little bit of money for their good service. What did the man here do? Right? Well, he did something different, right, with this word. Right? Instead of the noun tips, or here the adjective, what kind of a jar, a tip jar, he used tip as a verb, meaning something like this, right? To knock over something. So the funny part is the man saw this jar and understood the word tip as a verb, and then tipped the jar, knocked the jar over. Pretty funny and simple, that one. Try another one. Another very simple one, right? Just this one little sentence. So we see there's a doorway, and here is a sink, you know, like you might have in your bathroom where you wash your hands. Okay, and the sentence says, let that sink in, right? Well, here, the sink is at the door, just like I might be at your door if you invited me over to your house. And so the statement is telling us to let that sink come in or enter your house. Okay. Now this is funny because this expression here, okay, also is an idiomatic expression. And it means something like what you see in this picture here with the child. So the child, it looks like he's been working on some sort of math or chemistry or something like that. Something very difficult, but at last, aha, he understands. So when we talk about let that sink in, right, we're talking about understanding, right? Let that idea, let that information work into your mind, let it sink in, go deeper and deeper until you understand. Okay, so understand, sort of the idiomatic expression, and then the actual sink coming into your house like a person. Okay, so let's look at our next one here. So working in a mirror factory, is something I can totally see myself doing. So again, I talked about this before. A lot of the times, figuring out the language humor is about one word or two words in what you're reading. So for the key words, you would say mirror and perhaps factory, right, are two important words. Also, maybe the idea of see myself doing. So what is a mirror, right? What do we do with the mirror? Well, a mirror is the thing that we use to see myself, right? In your bathroom, or you might have one in your bedroom. You look into it and you see yourself. So then the humor here, right? Something I can see myself doing. Again, just like the last one, this is an expression that means something similar, but more than just what a mirror is. And we're looking at this part, something see myself doing. Working in a factory, in a mirror factory, see myself doing that. What do you think that means? Well, I can imagine, right? I am imagining myself in a mirror factory. I can imagine myself doing this thing, right? And again, why is that funny? Well, because it's sort of reflecting the idea of you working in the factory, just like a mirror reflects your image when you look into a mirror. So you can see yourself doing that. That was a good one? All right, let's try another one. Another very simple one. Real life photo of a unicorn. Okay, and you can see here, maybe a little bit difficult to see. So what you're seeing is one kernel here of corn. Okay. So again, if we're going off of the idea of finding the key words, most of these words you probably know. Real life photo of a. So we're going to guess the important word for the humor, the language humor, is going to be this word. And even in this word, you know this. So there's a good chance the issue is this, the prefix uni or unit, depending on the pronunciation. And what does that mean? Well, here is a unicycle, right? Similar to a bicycle, but it only has one wheel. Bicycle, by the prefix, means two wheels. So a unicycle, one wheel. So a unicorn is, right, one corn. But that's not it, right? Because that's not necessarily funny. So unicorn must also be something else. And this isn't a really helpful or frequently used word unless perhaps you have children. A unicorn is this thing here, this creature here. A mythical, not real creature. It's a horse with one horn, right? A unicorn. Okay. So again, unicorn, one corn, and a unicorn, this mythical animal. Let's try another one. So here we have some lions. Here's a group of lions. Here is one lion. And this guy is talking to this lion here. It's just my foolish pride, this lion is saying. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 words. We're going to guess the humor is somewhere in these 2 words. We know these. It's just my. Foolish, go down here. Having or showing a lack of good sense, judgment, stupid, silly. I want you to remember this word. The key word here is silly for this humor. Okay? So something is silly. Well, what is pride? Right? Well, pride is a feeling that you respect yourself and deserve to be respected by other people. That is my pride, right? Proud, right? I am proud of what I have done or who I am. I have pride. And then what's the humor? Well, for this one, right, a pride, spelled the same way, is the word we use for a group of lions. We have a lot of words for the groups of animals. A group of lions is called a pride. Okay? So to put them together, when people talk about their foolish pride, what they mean is that they are too proud of something. So it caused a problem or it caused some sort of trouble, right? They were foolish, they were stupid or silly about their own pride. Maybe they shouldn't have been proud or had pride. But if you look at the picture, right, remember silly. So the group of lions here, called a pride, is acting very silly. These two are, right? They're dancing and doing all kinds of strange, silly things. So this lion, right, this is my foolish pride, right? My group that's acting strange and silly. All right, that's a good one. Let's try another one. So a wife and then another person here, perhaps the husband, right? We just ate. Why are you making pancakes? They're for the dogs. Why are you making pancakes for the dogs? They don't know how. Okay, so, excuse me, the idea here, this language humor, is working on something that is irrational. And we've seen it before, even though I haven't used this word. It's a conversation that doesn't make sense. One of the people sort of goes outside of what is rational. Irrational is not thinking clearly, not able to use reason, good judgment, logic, okay? A real world context, okay? So the husband here leaves the rational, the things that make sense, right? And he says as his answer to why are you making pancakes for dogs, the dogs don't know how, right? Of course dogs don't know how to make pancakes, right? They don't cook. They don't use the kitchen. So they wouldn't know that. And they probably don't really eat pancakes anyways, although they might, right? So in this conversation, the wife is sort of having a conversation in the real world that we live in, and the husband has left that for a more irrational answer. Well, the dogs don't know how to cook, right? And so that is why this one is humorous. All right, here's another one. Another man and a woman here. And so the man says, oh no, our neighbor died. And the woman says, who, Ray? And the man says, I don't think cheering is appropriate, Karen. So what's happening here, right? So again, this is sort of the irrational, although not in the same way. This is more of us taking something, again, that sounds like one thing and taking it for the other idea that it also sounds like. So in the top picture, the woman is asking who, Ray? She's asking who? A specific person? This specific person that we know whose name is Ray? This person died? That's what she is asking. But the man here, her boyfriend or husband or friend or whoever, he goes somewhere else, right? And he goes with the idea that hooray sounds like this hooray, right? Even though in natural speaking we might put more of a pause. Hooray, right? Hooray. Right? So he's taking them to sound the same. And what does this hooray mean? Well, this hooray is an exclamation, something we say out of excitement, right? Often exclamation when we use this, an exclamation point like you would see here, okay? The man then says, I don't think cheering is appropriate. Why? Because we don't cheer when someone dies, right? So if she had said this, then it would be a logical, a rational response for what the man says to her. But he actually took this as this. I hope that was funny. A good way to start your weekend with a Friday Funnies. Again, look at the language humor. Check out Facebook. Check out the comics in the newspaper. There is a lot of language humor that we like to use. Thank you, and have a great weekend.